The dust hung thick in the air. The setting sun, a bleeding wound on the horizon, cast long, distorted shadows over Sodom.
My lords, please come in and wash your weary feet. Rest under my roof. Share bread and find shelter from the approaching darkness.
Lot, sitting at his doorstep, watched the two strangers approach. Travelers were rare in Sodom, even more so those who seemed to radiate an otherworldly light.
We thank you for your kindness, Lot. We will accept your hospitality.
As twilight deepened into night, Lot led his guests inside his home. Little did he know that the fate of Sodom hung by a thread. The aroma of roasted lamb and freshly baked bread filled Lot's humble dwelling. Suddenly, a cacophony of shouts and frantic banging erupted outside.
Where are the men who came to you tonight? Bring them out so we can have sex with them.
He ran to the door, throwing it open to face a mob of men, their faces contorted in a grotesque grimace of lust.
Give them to us so we can have sex with them.
No, they are my guests. They are under my protection. Don't commit this evil.
The crowd surged forward, their eyes gleaming with predatory hunger. Fear, cold and sharp, pierced through Lot's resolve.
Please, my brothers, don't do this wicked thing. I have 2 daughters who have never slept with a man. Let me give them to you, and do with them as you wish. But do nothing to these men, for they have come under the shadow of my roof.
The crowd roared its disapproval, their lustful cries echoing in the night. Lot felt a wave of despair wash over him. But as the mob lunged forward, a blinding light erupted from inside his home.
Back away, for we are messengers of the Lord, and we have come to unleash his wrath upon this wicked city.
The two strangers, their eyes blazing with divine power, stepped out behind Lot. The crowd, struck dumb with fear, stumbled backward. The strangers spoke, their voices resonating with the authority of heaven.
Back, we are messengers of the Lord, and we have come to unleash his fury upon this cursed city.
Panic seized Sodom. The mob, their lust replaced by pure terror, scattered like chaff in the wind.
Hurry, take your wife, your daughters, and flee this city, for the Lord's judgment is at hand.
What about my sons-in-law? They are about to marry my daughters. They must flee too.
There is no time. The Lord's patience has reached its limit. Do not look back nor stop anywhere in the plain. Escape to the mountains, lest you perish.
Lot, his heart pounding in his chest, woke his family from their sleep. Together they fled into the darkness, the echoes of Sodom's terror ringing in their ears. They ran without daring to look back, towards the faint glimmer of hope that pierced the darkness looming over them. The angels, their faces etched with a terrible beauty, turned to Lot. Lot hesitated, his eyes drawn back to the safety of his home, to the life he had built within Sodom's corrupt walls. The earth rumbled beneath their feet, a deep guttural growl that spoke of unimaginable power. Lot, his breath ragged, risked a glance back at Sodom. The sky above Sodom churned, a vortex of fire and ash. Lightning, like the very fingers of God, ripped across the heavens, striking the city with a deafening roar. A rain of fire, a cascade of molten rock and sulfur, descended upon Sodom, consuming everything in its path. Lot watched, his stomach churning, as the city of his birth, the city of his sin, was consumed by the Lord's righteous fury. This was the price of wickedness, the consequence of unbridled sin. The earth shuddered one last time, a final death rattle, before falling silent. Lot, his legs trembling beneath him, walked away from the smoking ruin that had been Sodom. He looked at his family, their faces pale and gaunt under the ghostly light of the dying firestorm.
Come on, we must go. We can't stay here.
But his wife did not move. She stood there, a statue carved from fear and longing, her gaze fixed forever on the city of her past. Lot, his heart heavy with the grief he could not comprehend, turned away. He took his daughters by the hand, and together they walked toward the safety of the mountains, leaving behind the smoking ruins of Sodom and the silent, unmoving figure of Lot's wife. The sun, a pale ghost in the smoke-filled sky, sank below the horizon, casting long, distorted shadows over the desolate landscape. Lot and his daughters, their clothes tattered and their faces smeared with soot, huddled together at the entrance of a cave, seeking refuge from the cold night air. They were safe for now from the destruction that had befallen Sodom, but they were alone, adrift in a world irrevocably changed by the Lord's wrath. Lot, his old body racked with weariness and grief, looked at his daughters, their faces mirroring his own fear and uncertainty. He knew that their survival, their very existence, now hung by a thread. The legacy of that night, the night fire rained from the sky, would forever be etched upon their souls, a chilling reminder of man's fragility and the swift, terrible sword of divine justice.